Sometimes the world doesn't change in the big, loud moments. It changes in the quiet ones, the ones we walk past. Because we're too busy chasing something else, a stranger holding a door, a sudden breeze that makes you stop, a memory that returns without permission, a smile from someone you'll never see again. These tiny things, they shift us more than we admit. This is the power of small moments nobody notices. Let me tell you something I used to be embarrassed to admit. I thought life only changed when something big happened. The job, the breakup, the move, the win, the loss. I believed small moments were just background noise, fillers between the chapters that actually mattered. But I was wrong. Wow, so wrong. Because the older I get, the more I realize the small moments are the chapters. They are the quiet architects building who we become, brick by brick, breath by breath, moment by unnoticed moment. A few months ago, I sat in a tiny coffee shop, the kind you could miss by blinking too fast. I wasn't doing great that day, the kind of morning where even the air feels heavy. And then the barista smiled at me, but not in that forced customer service way. It was the smile of someone who looked at me and actually saw me, just for 1 second. 1 second I didn't know I needed. She handed me my drink and said, "You look tired. I hope today is gentle with you." That was it. No philosophical speech. No dramatic music swelling in the background. But it landed, somewhere deep, somewhere soft. And for the rest of the day, I kept thinking, how many storms in people could we calm if we paid attention to them for just 1 second? There's actually a reason these tiny moments hit so hard. And yes, psychology backs this up. Researchers talk about micro-affirmations, small gestures that tell our brain, you matter. You exist. Someone noticed. These little things, a nod, a kind word, a moment of patience, a shared laugh, a stranger's gentleness, they slip past the overthinking mind and speak straight to the part of us that's still human, still fragile, still hopeful. Small moments bypass the ego and land right in the soul. That's why they feel like truth, like reminders, like home. One night, I was driving home late. A long day, an empty road, and a head full of noise. At a red light, I noticed a woman on the sidewalk. She was laughing, like really laughing at something on her phone. Just pure joy, unfiltered, unbothered, untouched by the world. And I don't know why. But that moment made me breathe differently, looser, lighter. It reminded me that even on days when our world feels small, someone else out there is living a moment of pure, uncomplicated joy. Somehow, that made the universe feel wider, kinder, a little less lonely. Small moment, big shift. The problem is, we miss 90% of these moments. Not because they aren't happening, but because we are too busy sprinting through our lives with our eyes half open. We think meaning only shows up dressed in fireworks. But most of the time, it whispers. Life doesn't grab you by the shoulders. It nudges you, gently, quietly, repeatedly. And if you ignore those nudges long enough, you start to feel lost without knowing why. Not because life got worse, but because you stopped noticing it. There's a memory I return to more often than I expected. It's ridiculously small. Almost nothing. But it's everything. When I was younger, I walked home from school one afternoon. My grandmother was outside watering her flowers. She looked up, waved at me with the biggest smile, and said my name in that warm voice only she had. 2 seconds. Literally 2 seconds. But it's one of the memories that shape the way I love people. The way I show up. The way I notice things. Because if 2 seconds can last a lifetime, maybe nothing is ever really small. Here's what I finally understand. The small moments you ignore today will become the big meanings you realize later. One smile, one breath, one moment of honesty, one pause long enough to feel something real. These are the things building your life quietly, the way morning light slowly builds a sunrise. Life isn't made of milestones. It's made of moments. The tiny, fragile ones nobody notices until they change everything. So here's my challenge for you today. Look for one small moment. Just one. Notice something you usually ignore. Let yourself feel something you usually rush past. You might find that the world has been speaking to you all along, softly, faithfully, waiting for you to finally listen. If this video found you at the right time, stay a little longer, subscribe, join this space where we notice the things nobody else sees, because sometimes that's all we need to feel alive again.